Welcome viewers. I am Dr. Pranali Jadhav. Let's discuss the poem I Sit and Look Out by Walt Whitman. Look at the content of the presentation. First of all, I am going to discuss the introduction of the poem, then poem in detail. Afterward, analysis of the poem, and at the end I am going to present theme of the poem. Let's look at the introduction. The poem I Sit and Look Out is written by Walt Whitman. His full name is Walter Whitman. He was born on May 31st, 1819, West Hills, Long Island, New York, US, and died on March 26, 1892, Camden, New Jersey. He was an American poet, journalist, and essayist whose verse collection, Leaves of Grass, first published in 1855, is a landmark in the history of American literature. The poem, I Sit and Look Out, is a stern observation of the oppression of human beings committed by their own fellow human beings. He sees grief, pain, exploitation, humiliation, insult, anguish, unsympathetic neglect of the elderly people, ill treatment given out to women, deadly disease, cruelty, oppression of workers, and eternal agony. Look at this picture. What do you see in it? Yes, an empty chair near the window. Maybe the speaker in the poem sat and looked out through the window and observed the society like this only. But the question is, what he has observed by looking out? Let's discuss it in the poem I Sit and Look Out by Walt Whitman. I sit and look out upon all the sorrows of the world and upon all oppressions and shame. The poet is confined to the four walls of his house. He looks out and finds that the world is full of sorrows. He is pained to find that. He feels very unhappy. Some people are shamefully oppressing others. I hear secret convulsive sobs from young men at anguish with themselves, remorseful after deeds done. Some young men commit shameful deeds and then repent after the deeds are done. They are remorseful thereafter and sob convulsively in secret. They behave like this because they listen to the prick of their conscience secretly. I see in low life the mother misused by her children, dying neglected, gone, desperate. He observed with disappointment the miserable plight of the poor mothers who are neglected by their children, and consequently they become desperate and die. I see the wife misused by her husband. I see the treacherous seducer of young women. Then he sees the wives being exploited by their husband. Similarly, young women are seduced by evil characters. I mark the ranklings of jealousy and unrequited love, attempted to be hid. I see this sight on the earth. Among young lovers, jealousies, anguish of unrequited love are rampant in the society. The poet sees this spectacle in the society. I see the workings of battle, pestilence, tyranny. I see martyrs and prisoners. Pestilence means epidemic, pandemic, deadly disease. The whole society suffers due to war, pestilence, tyranny. Those persons who fight for a noble cause are tortured, imprisoned, hanged, and they become the martyrs. I observe a famine at the sea. I observe the sailors casting lots who shall be killed to preserve the lives of the rest. Among the sailors, sailor means who is doing their journey on the sea. Among the sailors, famine spreads. Famine means scarcity of the food, and it becomes necessary to throw away people one by one into the sea to save the lives of the rest. I observe the slights and degradations cast by arrogant persons upon laborers, the poor, and upon Negroes and the like. He observed that the poor, the laborer, the Negroes are humiliated and insulted by the powerful, arrogant people. The powerful people enslave the Negroes. At the end, poet says that all these, all the meanness and agony without end, I sitting, look out upon, see, hear, and I am silent. The poet looks at this sad spectacle of life and remains silent. Let's discuss the analysis of the poem. The poet is confined to the four walls of his house. He looks out and finds that the world is full of sorrows. He is pained to find that some people are shamefully oppressing others. The poem seems as a series of all of the cruelties and acts of unkindness that human beings impose upon one another. The poem remarkably describes the pain of former soldiers, mothers misused by their children, wives misused by their husbands, the pain of being unloved or being jealousy and broader suffering, famine, deadly disease, oppressions, and exploitation. The poet looks at this miserable side of life and remains hushed and silent. The poet neither tries to find out the reason for the suffering of humanity, nor does he offer any remedy to improve the suffering of the poor workers. But he does severe criticism and criticize the exploitation of human beings by their own fellow human beings. Let's discuss the theme of the poem. The speaker does not act to relieve anyone's suffering, but each line begins with recognition of that suffering. I hear, I see, I mark, and I observe. This is first reaction and maybe the first stage toward taking any action against the exploitation. Thus, the main theme of or message of Whitman's I Sit and Look Out is that it is not only to see the horror, suffering, and pain of the world. On the other hand, some action is necessary against it. Every person have to think and to do something about it. Thus, the poet is trying to tell us through this poem that it is wrong only to observe sufferings. I hope you understand the poem. Thank you. If you like this video, please subscribe it, like it, and share it.